welcome to the first brew day of 2026. It is the 18th of March, a lovely sunny day outside. I'm a fair weather brewer, so the brewery has been closed since end of last year because I don't like brewing in the cold and damp of the winter months. So yes, a nice sunny day, and I reopened the brewery. Last week before, I sanitised and cleaned the brew tools and the, what's it called, hot liquor tank, my old hot cap. So they've been given a thorough good clean. And I do need to still do a bit of cleaning up in there as well. There's a few bits of, like the fermenter jackets have got a bit of mould growing on them. So I just need to give them a good clean. It's the nature of it. It's a very damp environment outside in the cold. It's not ideal, but that's why, you know, we give everything a good clean. So yes, brew day today. What am I making? I am making a sort of strong, bitter, sort of ruby ale style beer. I was very much in the mood for doing a bitter. I've not done like a traditional British bitter for a long time, so that is the plan for today. It's going to be a bit of a stronger one. Yes, in the old brew tools, we're looking at 5.5% beer if it all goes right. A sack of Marisotta, 25 kilos. It is 4.6 kilos of crystal malt and 400 grams of black malt, just for colour. At the start of the boil, so 90-minute boil, quite a long one, we have 300 grams of Englishy style hops. So it'll all be, this is where it becomes a bit of a Frankenstein brew. I'm just going to use whatever hops I've got in the freezer because I haven't specifically brought any new hops, and I've got loads of packets of hops which I've bought over the years and have never opened, so it's a good chance to try and get rid of some. So I think I've got some Styrian Goldings which might go in. I've got some homegrown Fuggles hops from the year before last, so yes, I might use that. So yeah, 300 grams of whatever hops I decide to use at the start of the boil, and the last 10 minutes, 100 grams of, well, it says here Fuggles, but we'll see what we've got. Yeah, so you use SO4 to ferment with. The Brew Tools B150. I filled that up with water last night and put it on a delayed start. So when I checked it about 5 minutes ago, it was at 65 degrees Celsius. So aiming for 68. So by the time I finished a bit of breakfast, boiled eggs, yum yum, it will be up to temperature. So a slight change to the hop schedule, just mainly because of what I've got available in the hop freezer. So we're going with 200 grams of Styrian Goldings. I found two sealed bags in there which I've not used before, and a mystery hop. Characteristics are grassy, honey and spicy. So it's an English hop. I don't know what though, because the ink has gone on the label. So it's a mystery hop, but again it was sealed, 5.7 alpha acids, so it's in the right ballpark for sort of Goldings, Fuggles. So that's in, and then the last 100 grams in the last 10 minutes will be Olicana. Again, a good hop, got an unsealed bag. Will add a nice fruity characteristic, I think, to the beer. Yes, that's what the hop schedule is. So that is the end of brew day. We're all cleaned up and transferred to the fermenter. Collected 130 litres of wort, thereabouts. Hydrometer was 1.054. Target was actually 5.7, so a couple of points down, but I think I did collect a few litres extra, so you know, it all balances out in the end. So it should make a 5.3% beer if it ferments according to schedule. So I did a hot transfer to the fermenter because I don't have a cooling system in place at the moment. I used to use a plate chiller, but it is just too much hassle to use it. It blocks up easily, and it gets blocked, and the sanitation I'm not convinced on. It's a bugger to clean. You know, you blast water through it one way and blast water through it the other way, and blast chemically water through it, and you know, and there's always seems to be stuff coming out of it. It's ridiculous, and also it uses a lot of water. So yeah, I've stopped using it just because it's more trouble than it's worth, and I'm always worried that I'm going to pick up an infection in the beer using it. So I've still got it, but I don't use it any longer, and I haven't got a replacement system in. I probably want to get a counterflow chiller, but that's a time and money sort of thing. Well, more a money thing. So I need to look around, see if there's any good ones there are on the market, and save up my pennies to buy one. Try and perhaps clean the plate chiller and sell that on as well. I'm sure someone can use it better than I can. I'm sure if you had a decent filter, it wouldn't be so much of a problem, but I don't. So, and I'm not starting to do filtration. That's just another can of worms. So yes, all in all though, smooth brew day. Took about 6.5 hours. Started at 9:30, something like that. Finished at 3:30. So I've earned me a pint of very hazy Eldorado, Equinox and Citra hazy pale. This has been on down the clubhouse for a couple of months now, and yeah, it's good. Keeps bloody pouring. And I've got to pour into this big jug because it's really bloody foamy when it pours, and I just haven't ever got round to sorting out the pouring situation on it. So yeah, just as easy to fill a jug up and then pour it from a jug. That's my excuse anyway. So yeah, as I was saying, it was a smooth brew day, but there were a few things that I pulled from the brew day itself. So my HLT, which is my 50 litre hop cap, which I used to brew on, the display is broken. It doesn't show anything anymore. All the buttons still work, but you just can't see what temperature you're dialing things to. So I using it today, I dialed in 73 degrees Celsius by chance, which was about right for a sparge. But yeah, I can't see what temperature I'm dialing in. I'm slowly sinking. I can't see what temperature I'm dialing in, so yeah, it's a bit of a bodge job. I have emailed Hopcat last week before, asking if they sell replacement PCBs, screens, wherever they are. So as I said, the buttons work, the pump works, the heater works. It's just the display. I can't see the display. All the buttons work, but you just can't see what you're doing. So yeah, I do need to try and get that fixed. I might politely chase Hopcat in next week if they still haven't had a response, or try a different means of communication. So yes, that's that, the HLT. And another problem I've had is the sensor on the BrewTools device itself. So the BrewTools has two sensors, temperature sensors. One is a sensor for the main tank, and one is the sensor for the pump, what's being pumped around. And the tank sensor is giving me error messages and funny readings from time to time.
You know, it's coming up with error messages saying it's not working or the temperature's out or something like that. I can't remember the exact phrasing, but yeah, obviously not good having error messages. And the tank is the main sensor I use. So yeah, in mashing in, it kept jumping from like 75 Celsius to 60, you know, to 67, which is what it was supposed to be at. So yeah, it's jumping all over the place and popping up with error messages. They're very bizarre. But when I was then heating up from the sparge to the boil, there were no error messages, and you know, once it said it hit 100 degrees, it had started boiling, so it was obviously working. So it's a very unusual fault. So what I will do is swap the sensor for the pump, the temperature pump sensor, which seems to be working absolutely fine, with the tank sensor, and I should therefore alleviate the problem to a certain extent. As I said, I use the pump temperature sensor a lot less, so I won't mind too much if it's faulty. I think a replacement sensor is about 90 quid, so quite expensive, and if I can have this as a workaround, then so be it. So yes, that was the temperature sensor, so that's something I'm going to have a look at. I've already mentioned the plate chiller issue. I'm going to have to look into buying a counterflow chiller at some point, just something so I can chill the beer down when I'm transferring, because it does take a while. You know, I won't be able to add the yeast until tomorrow morning probably, because it's, even with the glycol chiller going, I think when I checked it last it was at 60 degrees Celsius, and it's now what, 6-7 o'clock, so that's you know, a good sort of 3 hours after I transferred it to the fermenter, and it's still relatively hot. Well, not relatively hot, it's hot. So yeah, I do need to think about a replacement chilling system for that. I suppose the benefit of not chilling it is obviously the saving on water, but you know, swings and roundabouts. So yes, that was that. The only other thing is I want to empty my storage shed. It's sort of had things in there for several years which have not been used or looked at for several years. So I'm going to decant the lots into the garage, have a sweep out, you know, hoover up all the mini spiders in there, and then put most of it back, and the rest will either go in the bin, or some of it might be useful for work. I'm taking one of the old grain baskets to work for scrap metal, because I'm never going to use it again, and it'll help upkeep some of the building costs. So do that, and then some of it I will try to sell on the more valuable things which I don't use. I think I've got a hop rocket somewhere which I've never used, so that can go. And I think there's like a stirring plate, again, don't think I've ever used that, because I, you know, dry yeast I add straight to the wort, I don't rehydrate it, so that can go. So yeah, things like that. And I also want to try and get all of the kegs and casks which are currently being stored in the brew shed out of there, just so they're not around, and only put them into brew shed when I'm cleaning them to fill them. So yeah, and I can't do that until I've got a decent space to store them in the storage shed. So yeah, the storage shed's going to have a purge. Yes, that's probably going to be this weekend, because I'm not working this weekend. I'll have a good tidy up, and yeah, we look like we're having a couple of lovely days of sunshine and dry weather. So yeah, best time to be doing that sort of thing. Anyway, I'm going to finish my beer. I will update you with obviously a tasting video when it is ready. So cheers, thank you for watching.